Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online migration consultant. Now today's video I would like to introduce a visa under the subclass of 602. Now it's a very interesting visa and rarely used, but due to the novel coronavirus which has spread an outbreak around the world, I think it's quite a good timing to actually introduce this visa. Now let me take you into the actual immigration website now. Okay, now as you can see, subclass 602 is of the name medical treatment visa. Now who actually required this? Now it does says here this temporary visa is for people to travel to or remain longer in Australia for medical treatment or support someone needing medical treatment. So that basically meant that if you do have a requirement that prevented you to actually be traveling on the flight back home, then this visa is actually for you. Or you do have a closely related family members in Australia or whoever that is required to go through a medical treatment and needs someone to actually support beside him or her, then this visa is right for you. Now when do you actually need it? Well, for example, there's a major accident and that prevented you to actually be on the flight, because on the flight there will be a lot of restrictions and you may not be able to take the flight back home, or perhaps, for example, the coronavirus that has been spread. But of course we don't want you to get any kind of virus, but if you do have this kind of scenario or situations, then subclass 602 visa will be the right visa for you. So let's take a look at the actual detail here. So it will cost about $315, and it takes about 27 to 45 days for the actual processing time, so it doesn't take too long. So the main thing is that the government required to actually assess whether or not you met those criteria that we have just met. So again, it allows you to stay in Australia, single entry, so you cannot get this one and fly in and out. So you basically, because if you need treatment you can't fly anyway, so it's basically single entry. I don't know why they provide study for up to 3 months. If you're in hospital or you've been hospitalized, how do you actually study anyway? But it does have that embedded in this visa. Now going into the eligibility, now be one of these situations, so let's have a look and read through it. So intend to have medical treatment or consultation. Now interestingly, consultation is actually part in here. Now that has to be some sort of medical condition specializes for a certain hospital in Australia, or certain doctor have prescribed you for certain consultation, require you to be physically in Australia. So that's what is required. Now intended to donate an organ to someone, okay, or intend to support patient or organ donor who holds and apply with this visa. So if you're an organ donor, okay, intend to receive organ, intend to come with Australia under arrangement between Western Province or Papua New Guinea and Queensland Department of Health. So this is gonna be very rare, because it's the government, between governments and governments arrangements. And being Australian age of 50 or older, being refused Australian permanent visa on health ground only, and are unfit to depart to Australia. So again, that's very rare cases there. So basically the general situation should be under this one. Intend to have medical treatment, okay, intend to have medical treatment. All the other one is quite rare. Personally, I haven't really met any previously or in my practice experience. Now have medical condition that could be a threat. You must not have a medical condition that could be a threat to public health. So that basically is for someone who is offshore. For instance, if you're already contracted with a virus that's going to be a threat to the public health, you won't even be applying offshore. But it's more for people who are already unsure, okay, not hold these visas. So you cannot hold international relation visa or domestic workers visa, be able to support yourself. So that means you need to show a financial statement, which generally comes with a bank statement showing that you have the fund to actually pay for yourself for all these medical requirement. There's no age requirement and meet health requirement. That basically will correlate with this part here, okay? So you cannot have a certain medical condition that can be spread and be a threat to the public health, okay? Meet our character requirements, so you're not there's nothing wrong with you, so meet the police check, and be a genuine visitor. So again, you're only here temporarily, okay? You're not here for a long term. Intention to stay here temporarily does not apply if you are in Australia and age of 50 or older and being refused. So that's another part. That's someone who has been in this situation. Okay, so arrange payment medical treatment. So basically that will correlate to the financial part that we had previously discussed, and you haven't had any visas cancelled previously. So that's basically a quick review of the medical treatment visa. Now again, it's for, to summarize this, medical treatment visa subclass 602 is for someone who has a medical condition. It can be resulted from a major accident or some part of things like what we have seen, that someone had arrived previously boarding and arriving into Australia. They have not shown any symptoms, but then after they arrive in Australia, they have shown symptoms that they contracted with certain viruses required to be treated for a certain length of time. The medical treatment visa will be fit for this criteria. Now, should you have any further question, leave a comment right below. And finally, I'd like you to consider to subscribe to our channel, so once we have a new visa insights or updates or news, you'll be the first one to get these updates. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.